Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live, this quick lunchtime live, a little information in regard to my future endeavors. I'm not sure if anyone's in the room yet, but if you are, welcome. I'll give it a quick second for to see if anyone's here. Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. And this live is basically to discuss some updates about my support group and that thing is still, still in the works right now. I'm actually looking forward to getting it started, but some of the things that are difficult is finding the right place to do it. So I want to make sure that I find somewhere to host this group that is going to be a good idea for everyone. A lot of people are suggesting that I reach out to like maybe a church and something. And the reason why I'm hesitant to reach out to a church is that I don't want people to be distracted or discouraged to come to get mental health within a religious scene because everyone may not believe in the religion of that church or believe in religion at all. And I want my guests and my clients or people of my group to come in and actually be comfortable in the environment that they are in. So that's something that I'm actually still trying to figure it out. Of course, it needs to be financially feasible and in a good area that people can easily access. I'm not sure if people know, but I'm actually in Maryland. So to be in the Maryland vicinity, somewhere in the outskirts of Baltimore, something more localized for like that location. So anyone, of course, will be welcome to the group. But I think that people who are local will probably find it more easily accessible. So again, my main goal is to keep this group that I'm going to be starting free because I feel that people do not get the mental health that they need based upon the fact of mental wellness costing money. And I don't feel like you should have to pay money to be well. So that's why I'm taking my time to spend a little bit more effort into getting a right location, a right per place, a right price for me to have to absorb so I will not have to pass that price along. Because again, I do not want people to feel with me and my group like they already feel, which is sometimes discouraged because maybe they don't have the copay, maybe they can't afford the medication, or maybe they can't afford to pay the fees that a provider actually charges for their services. Another thing that I want to mention is that, here on YouTube, I'm pretty much here. My goal is mental health, period, to try to get people to a higher level of thinking. But here I'm more of a, how can I say this? Here I'm more of a just educational, for educational purposes. In my group, I'm actually going to be taking on more of the role of a life coach because it's just different. Being in person, I feel like there's a different way to connect with people. And on YouTube, I'm very pleased with the way that things are going. So, people can easily get guidance from me because of my endeavors that I'm involving myself here and on YouTube. However, I do have the skill and the knowledge to help people to actually guide their lives in a better way. And I've gained that knowledge based upon getting my life guidance and my um, education in that regard together. So between taking a few classes and just life experience, as we know, that life experience is one of the best things to actually have when it comes to trying to make yourself better. The life experience allows you to look in the past and compare it to the future and look and see how far you've come. So anyway, getting back to it is that I will be more so taking on the role of a life coach in my group, and I will be dedicating a group service as well as try to do a little one-on-one depending on how large the group gets. And that will be pretty much how that will go. And once that gets started, I plan to have someone who can be dedicated to go ahead and film that live for me on YouTube. And if it's not live, then maybe someone can just record it for me. And then I'll be able to upload the information or the video to YouTube so that the YouTubers and my followers on YouTube can take part in what I'm actually doing that they may not be able to actually come and visit. So I'm looking forward to that. And I wanted to give you guys a few updates in regards to that to let you know that what I said initially upon coming onto YouTube and creating my platform is that I do have plans on starting a support group, and that's really important to me. But in that being important to me, it's also important that I take the right time to establish it in the way that it can be successful and eventually will be great for myself and for other people. And like I said, I cannot stress enough that I'm not just here to help other people to learn. I'm here to learn from other people because there are situations in life that occur that may not have ever happened to me. And you bring perspective, and maybe the perspective that the people bring will then allow me to embark on expanding on how I can navigate my knowledge to help them, to guide them into the right way. So that's actually what I wanted to talk about in that regard. In regard to mental health, I wanted to speak on, not letting external factors control you. And this is something that I will admit, self disclosing, that I struggle with and deal with on my own. Not allowing external factors to control how you feel, how you think, how you act, and what goes on in your actual everyday life. Sometimes things happen that we have no control over and we become upset, we become angry, we become anxious, we could even become depressed. Different things affect us differently. There's so many various ways to be affected by the things that we go through. So I don't want to limit, but there's so many different mental aspects to look at that I'll save that for another time. So again, I just wanted to get on here and give you guys a few quick updates. I figured it would be easier to do a live stream and go forward from there. So I look forward to getting back to you guys soon, and I hope that you all will be around so that when my live come with my actual support group, that everyone will have something else and see a different side of me and see the different capabilities that I possess to be able to help people with mental health. I know that sometimes people think that because you're about mental health and wellness that you're just totally zen and you're just everything is peaceful and that you seek perfection. And sometimes that's not true. I know for me, I don't seek perfection. I'm not all of the way zen, not nearly as zen as I would like to be. However, the reason why I focus on this niche is because it's something that's necessary, and we need to all figure out how to incorporate peace into our lives, how to incorporate wellness into our lives, and how to just be a better self. The better we become, the better that we can become to other people, and the more that we can accomplish in life. And hopefully, in becoming better, we then go back and look at other people and see how they're struggling and see what we can do to help them and reach down and pull them up a little bit. Sometimes that can be difficult because the people that you want to help do not want the help. Or maybe they just don't want the help from you because they see you differently, or maybe they see where you've come from. And now that you've evolved and you've grown and become a different person, maybe they don't know how to appreciate you for who you are and where you are. Because sometimes, as much as it hurts to hear, as we grow, everyone can't go. And I know that that's kind of cliche, and I know that we've all heard it around, but it's the truth. As we grow, everyone cannot go. So that's just something that I want people to focus on. Don't be scared to branch out and become something different. If you, whatever your background was, whatever you've been through, don't be scared and be bound by the things that you've been through. Don't let that determine who you are. Don't let what people say, don't let the rudeness, the harshness, the ignorance of what people have into your perspective or your surface or your area bother you to the point where it changes you. Don't let people harden your heart against other people because everyone is not the same. I say that because of just because of life, but I also say that because of some of the things that I go through. And sometimes you see people and you see situations over and over and over again. You say, why me? Why this? Why that? Why is this keep occurring? What did I do? Did I deserve that? And the truth is, you didn't do anything. It's not about what you deserve. It's really sometimes things come to make you stronger and they come to cause you to grow and they cause you to become different so that you can make a difference. And that's one of the things that I've had to accomplish or have accomplished in my life is becoming different to make a difference. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on. It's not that I was ever a bad person. It's not that I was ever doing anything that was absurd, but sometimes it's not really always about what we're doing. It's about how we feel about what we're doing. And sometimes the way we feel about ourselves isn't projected out into the open, out into the public. And as a result, they think that we think of ourselves differently. And all the while, we're looking at us within ourselves like, why do you want to be like me? But the reality is that even with the things that some of us suffer with, there's someone who wish they had the tenacity that you have just because you're doing things a little bit differently than what they were. So, again, that's why it's important to not look at the next person and not to compare yourself to anyone because no one's less than, no one's greater than. You are the same person whether you're working in Walmart or whether you're working in human resources, whether you're driving a subcompact or whether you're driving an SUV. No matter what it is, you are who you are, and nothing and no one can take away from that. You can only build. Once you have built yourself to a certain level, you can only build and progress. You can't die. I mean, go backwards. You can, but it will be by choice. But no one can cause you to go backwards into a place of which you've come from and you've grown from unless you allow them. A lot of us sometimes we get caught into the, oh, I don't want to have to go back and become the old me. That's not something we should be proud of. Whoever we used to be, if we've become someone else, it had to be for a reason. So don't ever pride yourself on going back to the old person just because that's comfortable. It's so easy to go back to the things, to the places, to the people, and to the situations that we're comfortable with because they're familiar. And so we have to make sure that we are being responsible for our own wellness and making conscious decisions to not do things in a way that's going to cause us to experience the pain that we don't want. So, not only speaking things, speaking positivity, taking positive action, actions that won't cause recourse of negativity, actions that will push you forward, things that are going to put you to that next level. So sometimes we just need to spend time evaluating ourselves from within versus looking outward into other people and telling them what they can do. So, that's just a little bit of the things I wanted to touch on really quickly. Um, yeah, that's really the gist of it. Like I said, I'm really looking forward. I'm struggling with finding somewhere that's sufficient enough for my group to be held, but I'm really looking forward to it happening, and I'm confident in the fact that I will find something. It will be the right place, the right location, and the right environment for the people to come in and feel that they are walking into an environment of wellness, that they can come in, they can be accepted, they won't be judged, and that they can actually leave better than they came in. I can't fix people's lives. I'm not a licensed therapist or counselor or psychiatrist or psychologist or anything, but I can still make a difference. Your credentials shouldn't be allowed to think that you can make more of a difference because you have a certain credential in a certain area, and that also the lack of credentials should not make you feel as if you cannot. We can all offer something, no matter where we are, what we've done in our lives. We can all offer something that can bring forth some light into someone's life. So take that with you every day. Look at someone that may have their head down, smile at them. They might smile back. Sometimes some people will look at you like you're crazy and maybe like, why are you looking at me? But be that light in a dark place sometimes. It's not always easy. It's not fun. It's difficult to always be the person shedding the light and spreading joy and cheer, but it's still necessary. Just try to set that atmosphere and try to really make a difference because the future depends on it. The future extremely depends on who we are now, what we do now, the legacy that we build now, and the history that we create. Because again, this is Black History Month. So all the people who were historic before us, they started off probably at the same level of which many of us very much live at right now. They did not allow that to hinder who they needed to become so that we could experience the greatness that they created. So we today, whether it's small or big, need to take that same energy, that same time to go ahead and create something that's going to trail behind us after we go. As we get older, we need the people who are our age to be able to come behind us and say, hey, I saw Mr. Credential do this. I saw this person do that. So I know that I can handle it. I know that I can do it because they did it and they only had $5.02, but they still made it work. So that is the type of atmosphere that I try to create here on YouTube. I try not to criticize what other people are doing, but I do pay attention. I pay attention for the sake of knowing what it is going on out here. And if I'm being honest, for a little while, I was hesitant to come on to YouTube and actually start my platform because there was so much negativity that I said to myself, how am I going to create a positive atmosphere in a place where I see so much backstabbing and lashing out and just a lot of stuff going on? How am I going to be so positive around things that aren't always so positive? And then I realized I took a second, took a few days, maybe even a few weeks, and I stepped back and I thought about it and I said, this is where you need to be. You need to be here because there isn't positivity. Hey, captivating, there isn't this type of vibe there. You need to go where the people need you, even if it's uncomfortable for you. You need to go, and you need to bring something that is not being brought. You need to let people know that there is encouragement. Encouragement doesn't cost money, and anybody can encourage you, no matter what they look like. So once I realized that this was going to be helpful to other people in conjunction with being helpful to myself and allow me to make connections with people and reach the people that I would not see locally every day in the street, or if I could probably can't even access a lot of people even by getting in my car. So that is the great benefit that comes with YouTube and how we can utilize this for many different things, you know, whether some people use it for good, some people use it for fun. I like to have fun, I like to play around too, but at the end of the day, my number one goal is to keep people being well. Sometimes you look how you feel and sometimes you feel how you look. But either way, both of those scenarios can encourage each other. They pour back into each other. So sometimes when you don't look how you feel, you can then begin to feel how you used to look, how you're supposed to look. So again, it's about creating a synergy in ourselves, between our mind and our body and our spirit. It's about creating synergy with ourselves, with other people, with different networks, with different niches, micro niches, and things of that nature. It's really about those things and just bridging the gap between everything. So, I'm really hoping that this live helps to shed some insight as to who I am, what I'm going to be doing, what you can expect from me in the future. And yeah, that's pretty much what my goal is, to just continually, as I have time, to get out here and make it known until my group has started exactly who I am and what I'm about. As you all know, I do some of that on Tuesdays with Captivating Christian on his Politics and Wellness that I'm a co-host of. I do, of course, have my own platform here where I do lives and videos and I do my weekend wellness every Friday just to get some wellness tips for the weekend to help decompress and relieve the stress, and also give some ideas on how to reboot after you decompress, because sometimes decompression you might get stuck there, deflated. So once you deflate from the negativity, you need to inflate with the positivity. So those are the things that I am basing my platform on. I'm basing my brand that I'm creating on, and I actually have not come up with a name that I've seen suitable or felt suitable for my group just yet. But again, those things will come into play. I'm the kind of person who is a visionary. So when I walk into a place, it'll kind of just tell me, bam, that's the name. Or when I meet someone for the first time, maybe in the group, the name will just come. Maybe it won't even start with the group name. It will just start with, you know, come on in. Let's do this. Let's get something started. Let's have a sit down. Let's have a session and see what's going on. Let's, promote positivity within each other. So again, I just want to thank you guys for taking the few minutes to listen to this, whether you're listening to it via live stream or you're catching the playback. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come and show the support. My mod Cat, I appreciate you coming through for the support. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Again, this was just a quick little update and a little insight here. And I wish you all a good rest of your day. And all right, that'll be all.